Hi, this is Adam Kunzmiller with Board Game Geek at Gen Con 2017, and I'm joined here by Nate Scheidler with Unique Games, and we're here to talk about Hellapagos. So what is Hellapagos? A cooperative game until the food is gone. Sorry, there was a subtitle.
Another way to say it is a cooperative game where you sometimes have to cook and eat your friends. Hellapagos is a game where everybody is trapped on a desert island, and there is a hurricane bearing down on the island, and you need to escape before the hurricane comes and obliterates everybody that is remaining. Okay. There's 4 things that you can do on your turn. One of 4 things. You can either go fishing to collect food, collect water, collect wood, or hunt in the shipwreck for items that may be useful to you. So I'm going to explain food, water, and wood real quick, and shipwreck is going to be the last thing I talk about. For food, I go fishing by hunting in this bag and pulling out a marble. And then on the marble there is a number of fish. In this case I've got 2 fish. The best result that I can get off of the marble is the black one in here for 3. So there we go. So then I would advance the fish marker that number of spaces, and it's effectively feeding me and 2 other people. So that's super efficient. It means people can go do other things on the round. For collecting water, each round we're going to be flipping over one of these water cards, and there's a variable amount of water that I can collect with that. Some rounds are going to have 0, which means if you try and collect water, you get nothing. So there's no point in trying to collect water. Some rounds have 3, which means collect a lot of water, so that way you're stocked up for some of the other turns where you might be lean. And then the hurricane round, which is the final round of the game, you get 2 water for collecting on that round. At the end of a game round, after everybody has had an action, you have to consume 1 water and 1 food for each surviving player.
Let's wait. Join Mayfair Games in booth number 117 or Lucas Oil Stadium, where they are presenting their ever-popular Mayfair Ribbon Quest program. Participate by playing games and earning ribbons to then receive a free promo item and a coupon.
That's a long one.
Off 1 item.
All right, so you're saying at the end of the round we have to consume these, 1 for each player?
Yeah, we start by consuming water, 1 for each player. So let's just say we ran out of water and we didn't have enough for all of the players, but we still had some food left over. You do water first, and then if you don't have enough, you have to vote players out of the game until the numbers balance out. So you must always have food and water enough for everybody, otherwise everybody dies. So that's kind of the iffy part there. But you can, in the shipwreck, find things like a water bottle, which gives you a personal 1 water ration, which you could spend on another player or just hang on to it for yourself. So let's say that somebody, we ran out of water and there was 2 more water needed, let's say, for the people that were in the game. We had enough food, but both me and Adam here were sort of targeted for voting. If I was voted out and then I played a water bottle, we would have 1 water ration and I would be immune from a second vote. So they could still target you and potentially vote you out for water, but I'd be safe.
Okay.
Same thing goes for food. So you do all the water, all the food, and then at the end of the round you flip over another water card here and game continues. In order to survive in the game, you need to escape the island before the hurricane comes, and you do that by building rafts. So to build a raft, and I seem to be missing a marker here, unfortunately, for my raft. I don't know. It's somewhere. But there's a little disc that you use to count. You need to collect 6 wood from the forest. So let's just pretend this is my wood marker. If I say I'm collecting wood, I get 1 wood automatically for free. But I can go into the woods and hunt for more. I choose a number between 1 and 5 and pull out that many marbles from the bag. Let's be risky. Let's go for 4.
Okay.
This was a success.
Because you didn't get the black one.
Yes. So I would advance 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it'd be at 5. 5 wood, and 1 more I would claim a raft card and reset to 0. You need 1 raft per surviving player, plus enough food for each surviving player to last 1 day at sea. at the end of a turn after we've done,
So that's kind of the victory
feeding and
condition.
such, yes.
Is at the end of the turn, after having processed that turn.
Have
the rafts and food
Yes.
and water, or just the
And
food?
water.
Food and
Yeah.
water per player.
Yep, it is very challenging though.
So as you vote people off, that becomes easier, right?
Yes. There's also other ways of eliminating players, but yes.
Sure.
I did. Somebody came by and told me that they had a 7-player cooperative win today, so
wow.
it is possible. This game will play up to 12, and a 12-player game takes about an hour. I heard one group say that they had 5 eliminations and 7 survivors. I also have had games where people have played with 4 and everybody died. So
You said the 12-player takes about an hour. How long would a 4-player take?
I would say closer to 30 to 40 minutes. A lot of it really depends on the amount of table talk that's happening because your actions are obviously fairly simple. But this is a sort of game that attracts a lot of table chatter, especially as you're trying to sort out the food and water rations at the end of the game. Now, I was talking about the Shipwreck. The Shipwreck mostly contains items that are going to help you. I'm going to have to go back and talk about poison. Sorry, I'm going to go back. Poison. If I was harvesting wood and I had pulled out this black marble, I would have been bitten by a snake. I would have lost all of the wood that I was collecting for that round, including the free wood, and then I would take this poison marker. If I'm poisoned, it means that not only was that action ineffective, I don't get to vote at the end of the round, and if I have any shipwreck cards, I can't play them, and then I lose my action on the next round.
Ooh, it's pretty
So
rough.
it's devastating. But after I lose that action on the
Probably
next
a
round,
target for elimination if you got poisoned too, I would imagine.
And then, but after that next round, after I've lost the action and we get up to voting again, I am able to vote in that following round. So, but getting poisoned is very, very risky. At the same time, if you don't have any rafts, nobody's getting off the island. You could sit there and collect food and water over and over and over, and then the hurricane comes and just obliterates everybody. So shipwreck cards contain things that are useful. You're going to start with some of these at the start of the game. You can play them at any time, unless it's stipulated on the card as something else. You just say, hey, I'm playing this. You generally want to hold on to these because then you can bluff with them. There are some useless items in the shipwreck because generally if you're going into the shipwreck, you're going in there for your own personal good. So if you're spending a lot of time sandbagging stuff in the shipwreck, sometimes you just get some garbage. Sometimes you get things that are extremely useful, like the axe, which lets you get 2 free wood if you go collect wood instead of just 1. Additionally, items like the axe are permanent. If you are eliminated, they are discarded, so it becomes a reason for people to want to keep you in the game because you are more beneficial to the group on a whole. You'll find stuff like the club that lets each of your votes count as 2, coffee that lets you take 2 actions, my favorite, the cannibal barbecue kit that lets you cook and eat all of your friends who died this turn. You get extra food for that. There's also a couple of pistols that you can find in there, and some people really, really love them. Some people really hate being on the other side of them. A pistol is not much use unless you also have a bullet for it, and there's a very limited number of pistols and bullets in the game. But you can use a pistol to basically just eliminate another player, where now you need less food and water to make it to the end of the round or escape on the raft. You can also just bluff with the gun and nobody really knows if you have any bullets. Guns do pass around to players. If you die, your cards will split to the players to the left and right of you.
As they loot your corpse?
Yeah, but if somebody shoots you with a gun, they get all your stuff. So guns are particularly powerful and a reason for people to sometimes root around in here. But if they're rooting around in here a lot, you should probably consider getting rid of them. The first player has a bit of extra power in this game. They start the round, but they also break ties and are kind of the decision-making component. So if my cards are split between left and right, and I have 3 cards, first player gets to decide who gets the extra card.
Sure.
The first player can also force a vote to happen and end all table talk. So if you have one of those sessions where somebody's just talking, and it's not really advancing anything, and people are getting annoyed, the person with the first player marker can just say, you know what, we're done, and you're going to die.
So you have people that house rule this into the other games that they play that night. Just keep that card out.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of the nuts and bolts of Hellapagos right there.
Well, thank you again for walking us through Hellapagos.
Yeah.